Thank you for coming to my session. I'm Tsuyoshi Chujo from Japan. I'm freelance Flutter developer. So yeah, let's get started. Okay. So first of all, it's because it's my very first time to join the Fluttercon and even coming to Europe. So yeah, I'm very excited. So I want to introduce myself at the first of my presentation, but I just omit that the introduction of me. Instead of that, I will introduce my own package. The name is AnimatedTo. So how many of you knows the name of this package? Maybe some. Oh, thank you. So I guess most of you have not seen this package. So I will just provide some easy demos first. So, by the way, let me hot reload this one. Yeah, because this is Flutter up. So yeah, we can hot reload and refresh the state, everything. Okay, now it's ready. So we have the that part here, because this, as I said, this slide deck is the Flutter app. So we can show, I can show you the that part here. So I will just run the app. Yeah, we have the 4 images in a row because they are the children of the row right now. Like, yeah, as you can see here, they are the children of the row. So they are aligned in horizontally right now. When I tap the screen, it changes the horizontal flag is now false, and they are now children of column, so they are aligned vertically. Then, yeah, and vice versa. This is the very basic behavior of Flutter framework, as you maybe all of you know. But how can we animate to this update? Because we have no configuration or no implementation about the animation. So the change happens immediately right now. How can we do that? Like we have the logo of Fluttercon here now. Then if we want to animate to maybe this here, we want to make animation of the dash from here to maybe here. Yeah, how can we do that? So here comes the package of named AnimatedTo. Let me live coding. AnimatedTo.Spring. And because my package AnimatedTo is now introduced into the Dart part, so we can just choose the import line here. And then I'll provide the required argument named global key, global object key URL, something like this, and hot reload. Now it's animates. So that is the basic idea of the basic behavior of AnimatedTo package. Yeah, I guess many of you think that is that all? Yeah, because that it's just animate the widget. There's no some kind of fancy functionalities. It's just animate from here to here. But yeah, I believe the widgets, all the widgets have to be kept simple. So as long as the widget is kept simple, we can combine and collaborate with a lot of other widgets to make it more powerful, and we can create the more great features with based on this animation feature. Right? So let me show you some other demos using this AnimatedTo. They are more comprehensive and practical examples. By the way, I'm showing the QR code here, so you can just visit this dartpad from the QR code here, and you can try this AnimatedTo widget on your dartpad. Okay, so let's move on to the next demo. Okay, this one is a graph, and this is ordered, sorted in the disk manner. And once the order is changes, it animates. Like I will play this one, like this. Maybe some of you have already seen this kind of animating graph in some other with some other technologies, but with Flutter, we can make this kind of graph using AnimatedTo very easily. And also, I will show you some other demo. This is a reorderable wrap. We can grab the item like here, and we can swap with animations like this. Yeah, like this. It's very fun, yeah. So it's made of the Flutter's fundamental draggable widget and draggable target widget and AnimatedTo widget. It's the implementation is very simple. We don't have to calculate the layout, or we don't have to write the source code of animating something. So what we have to do is just wrap the widget with AnimatedTo widget. So it's very handy. So that is the introduction of AnimatedTo. So just let me wrap up the feature of AnimatedTo. It's handy. What we have to do is just wrap and rebuild. Then it automatically animates. So, and it's smooth. As we have seen in the previous slide, the animation happens very smoothly. And it's also tiny, so powerful, because as I said, what AnimatedTo does is just let the widget animate from one point to another. So that's it. So it's powerful. We can do anything with this package. Yeah. So, and it's implicit. So what is implicit? So let me move on to the next slide, next page. So to cover what is implicit animation, what is explicit animation of Flutter framework. So this is the official documentation about Flutter animation. What comes to your mind if you hear the animation, the word animation? Maybe some of you will think that like animation controller or AnimatedOpacity or AnimatedContainer or like Lottie, Rive, or some other shaders as well. Maybe all of them are animations, but we will focus on, in this section, we will focus on the animation which is done only with the Dart coding. So that is this one, implicit and explicit animations. So what is implicit and explicit? For the detail, so for detail description, you can see this. You can watch that nice videos. But I will briefly explain the comparison of the implicit and explicit in this slide. So explicit animation is the animation we can implement with the animation controller or some other APIs. And we have to explicitly configure the animations, how to animate, when to stop, when to reverse, and when to dispose, something like that. We have to configure everything explicitly. So that is explicit animation. Let me show you. So I have prepared the animation controller here, and I just omitted some complex and long configuration. So because we have the limited space here. So anyways, just let me start the animation. Okay, like this. Because now is the animation controller exposes the value of 100 and it is applied to the width of the container. So now it shows the box of 100 pixels. Then when I start the animation, it continuously simulates the update of the value from 100 to 300 and continuously rebuild and rebuild and rebuild. So it makes look like animation. That is the basic idea of explicit animation of Flutter framework. So what about implicit animation in contrast? So we have container again, and I just applied the value of 100 here. But if its long flag is true, the other value 300 is applied to container. So let me just tap the box, and now its long flag changes to true, and now the 300 is applied to the box width of the box, but it doesn't animate anything because it's just a container. So if I changed container into animated container with the configuration of the duration, now it animates without any configuration. That is implicit. So in implicit animation, we don't have to write a configuration or some implementation, some imperative operations for animations. All of the things are done in animated container or some other animated widget. So it's implicitly. So we don't have to write a lot of things. So it's handy. Actually we have a lot of implicit widget, implicit animation widget like animation container, animated positioned, animated transformed or something, animated opacity, animated default textures, and so on. But the AnimatedTo is one of them. It's provide the implicit way of animation. Now the cube, yellow cube is now moving, right? From the left top corner to right top corner and so on. But it doesn't animating. To animate this cube, what we have to do is, maybe you can imagine, just wrap the cube widget with AnimatedTo widget. Now it's animates. So basically, implicit animation is very handy because based on the implicit animating widget, we don't have to, as long as we follow the behavior of the animating widget, we don't have to do a lot of things, just wrap the widget. So, but I just said it's a game changer. AnimatedTo is a game changer at the title of this slide. So why I can say that it's game changer? So how do you think that of moving a widget with animations? How do you implement this kind of animation in your daily Flutter development? Like, we have two strategies, as I said. We have implicit animation and explicit animation. But for implicit animation, we don't have any option to do that perfectly. Actually, we have animated positioned for doing the moving animations, but the usage is very limited. We have to place the stack first, and the animated position must be the children of the stack. So we cannot move the widget from one branch to another branch. It's not capable of animated position. And we have no other options for moving animations. So what about explicit animation? Can we make the animation from the point A to moving to point B with explicit animation, like using the animation controller? Yeah, maybe yes, as long as we can detect the offset of the from and to. But we have one problem here, that we cannot detect the updated position in a straightforward way using the Flutter fundamental APIs. So yeah, so how can we get the position or size or layout of the widget? So now we have RenderObject here. It's the business of RenderObject. So maybe you have the experience of writing the code, like inserting the global key. Inserting the global key to widget, and then to get the position or size through the global key, like global key dot get current context and get the size or get some other layout. But if we want to do that, if we think of doing that, we have one problem. It's blinking when starting animations. Why this happens? So I will show you the problem of the strategy to animate from position A to position B using explicit animation. So now we have widget tree here. What we are doing in the daily Flutter dev is just composing the widget tree. We place a lot of widgets and that's it. So what is happening inside the Flutter framework after building the widget? So first, Flutter framework tries to make the element, which is the equivalent with the build context. And the build context, the business of the build context is to form the widget, the tree, to communicate with the ancestor and descendant. Like you can imagine that if you write the source code like navigator.of_context, what is happening inside is that the context tries to find the navigator state above the widget tree. So that's the functionality of element and build context. Actually, I have a lot of things. I have written a lot of things about build context in this article. You can visit through this QR code. But the build context is not the main topic of this session. So if you are interested in build context, what is happening in the build context, you can visit this site and read this one. Okay, so let's back to the figure. And after element is created, the Flutter framework tries to create another things, which is RenderObject. So the RenderObject business is to calculate the layout and paint that result so that the user can see the result of the layout. Actually, the RenderObject is doing some other works like heat testing or semantics, but it's not the we will focus on the layouting and painting in this session. So after layout is calculated, the paint is done, then Flutter engine will draw the picture of the widget. Then the user can see the result of the painting. So that is the flow of from building widget to it's rendered. But the problem here is that we cannot insert the operation between layouting and painting. Yeah. So what we want to do is once the layout is done and once we can detect the position of the update widget, you want to start the animation from the previous position to the new position. But we cannot insert the operation after the layout is done. So, and the paint is automatically done by the Flutter framework. So we cannot stop this kind of the rendering in the first frame. So that blinking is happening. So how can we solve the problem? So AnimatedTo is producing the customized render object so that it starts the animation after layout calculation is done. So it cancels the default behavior of paint method and instead of that, it starts the animation from the previous position to new position. So it doesn't have a problem of blinking. And also, as I see in the kind of previous slide, it's very smooth. It is because the animation is happening without rebuilding. It's all the animation is done in the paint phase and in the render object. So yeah, the animation is always smooth, even if it is running on the web platform. So I have explained so far what is happening in the animated actually what is happening in the Flutter framework and how AnimatedTo tries to solve the problem of the moving animations. And I will add another topic, that global key. So maybe many of you already know that global key is the key to specify the widget from another branch of the build method. We can directly access to the widget using global key. But global key has another feature that is introduced in the document of inside Flutter, like this document. And in this section, in the tree surgery section, they are describing that global key has the feature that preserve the element, its build context, element, and render object and state during the rebuild phase. So normally, if the position of the widget on the widget tree, it changes, like the depth of the widget changes or the position of the widget changes, Flutter framework will dispose the element and including a state and render object and recreate the brand new one to calculate again. But by using global key, we can cancel that, and we can reuse the same element, the same state, and the same render object to even if the widget changes its position. So what is important? Why this is important is that because AnimatedTo have to preserve the result of layout of the previous frame and the next frame to start animate. So as I show you in the demo, I just provide the global key to the AnimatedTo. So that is why the AnimatedTo require global key. It's because they have to preserve the result of the layout calculation. So that is it for describing the Flutter framework and AnimatedTo. I guess my English is like a little bit strange, and yeah, maybe it's I don't know. You can imagine what is happening, what AnimatedTo is, and what is happening in the this kind of animation. But yeah, who are interested in this package now? Maybe a lot. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm really glad if you are interested in this, and yeah, you will try this animated package after this session. But keep in mind that we have some problems not solved in the animated package, which is the one is the sliver. The animated package cannot detect the layout calculation inside the sliver because in Flutter framework, the layout calculation rule of the sliver, which is the sliver of list view, and the normal ordinary widgets like container or size box or center or some others are totally different. So they are totally based on the totally different layout calculation rule, and animated cannot manage the sliver version of layout calculation. So yeah, it's not animated right now that cannot be used inside the list view, unfortunately. And also in the current version, animated cannot be nested. If the AnimatedTo widget have another AnimatedTo widget inside below the that one, the animation will conflict and the behavior will be strange. So to solve that, I have to make some tricks to communicate with the ancestor AnimatedTo and descendant AnimatedTo. But in the Flutter framework, the render object doesn't have the ability to communicate with the descendant or ancestor. They have just direct reference to its direct parent. That's it. So the communication between the ancestors and descendant is the business for element. So I have to make the customized element as well, but I haven't. So yeah, please wait for the update. And also hit test. During the animations, like, by the way, can you find some widget which is animating in this slide, in this screen? Can you find it? Actually, we have one widget which is animating. Maybe, yeah, this one. We have tiny clock here, and it keeps the presentation time, and we can I can change the I can change its the appearance to see the exact time left by tapping this icon. So let me just tap the icon. I'm tapping this icon, but nothing happens. So what is happening? If instead of tapping this place, I can tap here and change its appearance. I have 10 minutes left, maybe. So what is happening? Because this clock widget actually be here according to the layout calculation. And the Flutter's hit test is when I hit when I click here, the Flutter's render object tries to specify what render object is clicked. And that operation is done based on the layout calculation. But AnimatedTo cancel the default behavior of the paint phase so that we can animate from here to here. But the hit test is not affected by AnimatedTo. So the widget is visible painted here, but the hit test is recognized here. So that is the problem, the current problem of the AnimatedTo. I have to, introduce some more trick to hack the hit test as well, but it's not yet. So keep in mind that we have three major problems about this package, and I have some I know why it happens, and I have some idea to solve this one, but they're not yet. So I'll be happy if you wait for the fixed, and it's going to be major once the version of 1.0 maybe later. So okay, so wrap up. So we have implicit and explicit animations of the Flutter framework. We have two major approaches for animations using Dart. Actually, as I said, we have more options like Live or Lottie or some others. But basically, as long as we write Dart source code, we have two major strategies: implicit and explicit. But if we want to move the widget from point A to point B with animations, both implicit approach and explicit approach have some pitfalls, and it's going to be very difficult for us to implement without any package. So I will provide some solution that customize the render object with the AnimatedTo package. And as I said, AnimatedTo is very primitive, and it doesn't do nothing very special. Actually, it doesn't do a lot of things. It just animates from point A to point B. So you can combine and collaborate with some other packages, some other widgets very easily. So you can create some nice UI and UX with animations with AnimatedTo. So thank you for listening, and let me say thank you to Tim so that AnimatedTo, SpringStar let me AnimatedTo to introduce the physics animations, Spring animations. But maybe it's gonna be another package, another brand new package motor. It empowers the AnimatedTo to animate very naturally and very fancy way. And also the Flutter deck, this slide deck is made by Flutter deck, and it's very good friend with AnimatedTo package. Actually, all the animations in this slide deck is done by AnimatedTo. So with Flutter deck and AnimatedTo, you can create very nice slide decks for presentation. So thank you for listening. And if you are interested in me, you can visit this QR code, and I have resume page here. I'm introducing my articles and packages, other packages, and also social accounts. So I'm glad if you visit this one and check it out. Okay, thank you.